So, Boys on Film at South by Southwest 2025, the first one for London. Raj, you are a bit of an expert when it comes to South by in Austin.
Well, I have gone to South by Southwest in Austin quite a few times. I feel like I'm a veteran, but even all the events I've attended before still couldn't compare to what the first time experience of doing it in London was like. I'm absolutely exhausted, Phil, after it.
Oh my God.
I don't know how you feel.
Do you know what? I was just talking to somebody over the weekend about this, saying that even though a week has passed since the end of South by London, I still feel like I'm recovering from it.
Yeah. In Austin, it's always been a big trip. And you're spending a lot of money because hotels and stuff are really expensive out there, and, food and entertainment and blah, blah, blah. But I feel when I get back from London, I always needed a week.
Yeah.
just to get myself back together again. So not even counting jet lag. So. Yeah.
Oh my God, what an amazing experience though. So I got there on Monday. So you weren't there Monday because you got over, because you were flying back, weren't you? So you got back.
No, I got back on Monday night, so I couldn't really do anything on Monday. But yeah, I was there for the long haul, trying to fit as much in as possible. I honestly feel like they did an amazing job putting everything together. Everything was very organized. All the staff at all the venues were super nice. Like, they really left a good impression. They did a phenomenal job on the branding. Like, it felt like Shoreditch was transformed, to see all the different venues and stuff with the South by branding, and it really created a nice buzz. So yeah, I was super impressed, but I feel like they crammed in like 2 weeks of events into like 6 days.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good tester in some ways because obviously it's the first one for London, so they've got to do that to a certain extent. But I agree, because I kind of wanted more movies, although I'm not complaining by any means. But that gave me, in a good way, that gave me the chance to check out some of the stuff I wouldn't normally look at. So, like, for example, Monday I saw a really good panel discussion with photographers Rankin and Gerard Mankiewicz, which was really fascinating because they were talking about working with Björk and Kate Bush, and it was really my thing. It was the sort of thing that I'd be really interested in watching anyway. So that was like an hour discussion. I managed to get a question at the end, which I was really pleased with. And then Groove Armada DJ set on Monday afternoon, because the sunshine was, it was perfectly timed for Monday because it was a great way to start the festival with their DJ set. So I managed to catch them, and then saw a horror film in the evening on Monday as well, which was Dead by Dawn, which was a Polish horror. So yeah, I agree, because I did manage to get a movie in on the Monday, but I did see other stuff as well. So I'm glad that I saw some of the conversations, like with conservationist Jane Goodall. I saw that as well. Your EQ Music Showcase, should we talk about that? That was Tuesday.
Yeah, so I had the honor of co-curating EQ Music Blog Showcase for the music festival, and it was on Tuesday night at Jaguar Shoes, a venue I haven't been back to in donkeys. It looked totally different from the last time I was there, but yeah, we took over their basement club, and we had a good influx of about 50 to 70 people coming in and out for each of the events, which started on the hour from 7, 8, 9, 10. We had a surprise appearance by Madison Rose at the end, and I got to showcase some of my favorite new artists, including Lost Child, Sophie Gray, Milo, who came over from LA, and then Nick Billington, who everyone is a big fan of. So yeah, I'm hoping it turns into a regular thing. I would absolutely do it again in a heartbeat. It was such a good night, and what really pleased me is seeing all the new people with music badges come in that are just discovering these artists for the first time, because that's really the precipice of what EQ wants to do, and what our mission statement is to elevate new artists, new queer artists in the indie pop space.
Can I just say, you did an absolutely phenomenal job of keeping everything together. I think you always do anyway, but particularly because it was your first showcase for South by London, I think the pressure must have been intense, because you had, was it 4 or 5 artists that you were managing for that showcase. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think one artist would have been stressful enough, but you managed to put the whole thing together incredibly well. And also, you looked really cool, calm, and collected when I saw you on that Tuesday night, which was really surprising because, yes, it was quite hot down there because that was such an intimate venue. I think the perfect venue for that showcase, actually, because it felt really warm. It felt, I mean, warm, obviously temperature-wise, but also just the atmosphere in there was really friendly. It was great.
Yeah, what I really liked about kind of the motivation for the co-curation this year was like every event they had was a small bit of the different music communities coming together. So at Jaguar Shoes, right before our event, they had I believe it was the Brit School, so they were showcasing some of their top talent coming from there. And then they switched over to us, indie pop, queer, electronic music. So it was just, and the vibe was different at each music event I went to. Like we went to see Mabel, and that was a completely different vibe. And
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed the whole thing. I wish I could have spread myself even thinner to see more of everything. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really good.
There's only so much you could do, especially if you're actually managing stuff there as well as actually being, a visitor and taking in all the stuff that's happening. I've got to do a shout out to my new friend Cynthia, who I met on that Tuesday afternoon, actually, outside Rough Trade East, because I was queuing up for a band that I thought I was going to see at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then found out that actually they performed on the Monday. So I got the days mixed up, so I couldn't see them because they were on the day before. But we ended up coming to Jaguar Shoes to see your showcase, or bits of it, in between seeing other things that were happening. And I know that Alice Glass was somebody that you were wanting people not to see, because obviously that was around about the same time as your showcase. But we managed to do a bit of all of it, which was good. So we got the timing
Yeah,
right.
I was, we had a small EQ music posse all attending this year, from artists to people who work on the site to our friends. And, we had a WhatsApp group going before, and I was constantly harping on everyone, because this was everyone's first time doing South by. And I was constantly harping on it, like, organize your schedule, download the app, you know, organize your day, because it's one of those things where it's a full-time job to navigate the festival, especially, even just navigating the layout of the festival and all the
Oh my
different
God.
venues. So, like, even I lived in London for 25 years and I was still like getting a bit lost.
Yeah.
I kept saying, like, I always go to Shoreditch as a destination, although I think I know how things are interconnected. It wasn't like spending all that time in a week in Shoreditch that I realized how things are actually connected. So it was a learning experience. And yeah, but I think they really pulled it off. I think they really pulled it off. And, it was a good sample for what's to come. So it's going to hopefully save me lots of money of not having to fly to Austin every year. And it is a good change. I mean, we are joking because there's a lot of people who attended South by in Austin, and they're just like, oh, instead of the smell of barbecue, you get the smell of kebabs.
I don't know about you, but I thought the location was spot on. I thought Shoreditch was the best place for it because everything was walking distance. Yes, I mean, some stuff was further away. Like we went to Curzon to see Plain Clothes, and the Curzon Cinema probably was a good 20-minute walk, but logistically, I think it's very difficult to put on a festival where everything isn't within catchment area. And I think they had everything pretty much in that circle, quite,
Yeah.
down to a T. I thought, and a very vibrant place, obviously, very vibrant part of London, which is very cool. It's very kind of cutting edge and alternative, and I think it suited the festival actually.
Yeah, I can't imagine any other place in London where they could have pulled it off, because you need to have that time in between events to go to other events, and there's important events that you want to make sure that you're there for. So, yeah, you're only going to see that getting even more bigger, more venues wanting to get involved. I mean, in Austin, it takes over the whole city. Every hotel, every restaurant, every small business has some sort of stage, their unofficial event going on. Just imagine it's only going to explode more. So, yeah, It's very exciting. It's very exciting for London. I'm like, and you mentioned earlier you made some new connections, and that's what it's all about. It's the biggest convergence of people in creative and tech and media industries. So I made some new connections as well. I mean, I hardly watched my own acts at my own showcase because I was just talking to people all night. So,
Do you know what? I wasn't expecting to make so many friends, and these were people that I really connected with as well. I suppose that's sharing a passion, isn't it, for what music you like, what movies you like. It does bring people together. I know that sounds kind of a bit glib and a bit a bit naff, but actually it's true because you do connect with people for the same things that you're interested in.
a lot different than covering the festival online, right, Phil?
Yeah, well, we did that. What was that, last year or the year before? And it
Yeah.
was fun, but there's nothing quite like being there and being physical. I mean, to be honest, Monday I was exhausted to the point where I couldn't actually function. Like my brain had just completely packed in after watching three things on Monday. But it wasn't just watching those things; it was actually being part of the atmosphere, which is really physically exhausting, mentally as well.
Yeah. The last few years I was going to South by in Austin, I really focused on the film festival because it is world class, definitely world class. And in Austin, the festival is over 2 weeks, and kind of the first week they focus on music, and the second week they focus on film, and there's a small overlap of the two, and then the tech events are kind of spread over everything. So you really can get the if you're like us, you can get the best of both worlds with music and film. But I really focused on the film festival the last couple years, and all the big headliner films take place in one cinema. And if you wanted to get in to see like John Wick 4 and with Keanu Reeves going to be in there, you're queuing for 3 hours just to make sure you get in, even with like a platinum press badge. So
It's crazy,
um,
isn't it?
yeah, so I mean, access was pretty good this year. I think a lot of folks in the industry were like, okay, we're going to test it out, see what the first year is like, but it's only going to get bigger. I think it was probably a success. I mean, I hope they broke even, and if they didn't, they know what to do to fix that for next year. But overall, I can't see this not being a success going forward. So,
Well, King
well,
Charles was there. King Charles turned up, didn't he? He showed his
he
face.
did. He did.
It's good publicity. I think I ended up seeing 5 films, which, when you compare other festivals, that's not many. But that's not to say that there wasn't other things to enjoy, because there was so much stuff going
Yeah.
on. And we had a meetup, didn't we? We went to the LGBTQ meetup on the Thursday before we saw Plainclothes, and that's where we saw your team, where we saw your artist.
Yeah, it was like the first time that we could all get together outside of the showcase and just kind of mingle with other, you know, queer creators and, queer media and tech business people. And I got a stack of business cards that I just haven't even gone through yet. So it was really good, and, a lot of fun, and we made some new connections. So
I got to apologise actually to a couple of your artists. Was it Sophie?
Sophie Vaughn, yeah.
So yeah, I was interviewing her and I was chatting to a couple of other people as well. I think Milo I've got on the video, but halfway through the conversation, because there was about 20 minutes where I was spinning around chatting with everyone. I was chatting to you, I was chatting to all the artists, and my mic packed up halfway through. So apologies to the people that I couldn't actually salvage the videos for, but there were a couple that I did manage to keep. But the rest was, you couldn't even hear anything. So it's just.
Well, the drinks were flowing too. We were all having fun. So,
It was such good fun. And Friday, I saw Love and Rage, Munro Bergdorf, the excellent documentary with her, which was probably the highlight of my festival. Mountain Head, not so much. I ended up walking out of that. That was the secret screening, which I just got so frustrated by. But that's not bad. I mean, one film out of 5 that I wasn't keen on. The rest I really enjoyed. So, yeah, it's quite a good ratio.
Yeah. You did much better on the film than I did. I only managed to catch 2 films because I really felt the focus this year was definitely on music versus the film festival, which is fine. Yeah, I end up seeing Cactus Pears and the film we're going to talk about later, Plainclothes, which I would not miss. I mean, I gave up a really important showcase to go see that film. So yeah, that happens too. Like in your schedule, you have to have like backup plan A, backup plan B, backup plan C. So.
Yeah. And I was finding that a lot of the stuff that I wanted to go and see, it clashed with other things. I mean, that's such a common thing as well, isn't it? You can't do everything.
Yeah, you can't do everything. It's true.
Well, Raj, Rudolph, thank you so much for the opportunity. It was absolutely brilliant. I loved every second of it. I really mean that, because it was a real tester for me, I think, to do so much, because I was flitting everywhere. I mean, you called me a butterfly that week because I was just here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, it's a lot different than other festivals we usually cover, right, Phil? Even the music festival is a lot different, and the film festival is a lot different, and there's such a variety of things to do. So that's why I think everyone on my team was just exhausted, like absolutely exhausted after it, and there was no travel involved. So it was great for me not to have to fly across the country and to another, fly to another country to go to the festival. It was like, oh, I can catch the 55 bus and be right home in 45
Yeah.
minutes. That was
So
great.
much easier. So much easier. Well, we have done a playlist, so check out the South by playlist, which is on screen now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this video with others that maybe were there. We could swap notes. And here's for next year. Bring on South by London 2026. We're waiting.
Phil, you're like the biggest South by ambassador now. So